All right, we are live. Sorry for the delay for those who are been waiting patiently on the countdown. The countdown ended and we weren't here. Always some sort of technical issue, but welcome. Welcome so much to the Game Night Show, where we help change makers change their game and everyone wins. I'd love to welcome our guests. If you are here live on our chat, this is a new forum for us, and so I would love for you to say hi. And where you're from. So just go ahead and type that into the chat on YouTube. We would love to see you and hear from you and have you experience game night with us and playing with us live. So tonight we have some highlights of tonight. We're going to interact with you on our live chat. We're going to play a little game when we jump in. I'm going to introduce our presenters and panelists. We're going to play a game. We're going to talk to our featured gamer tonight, Lorree Appleby, and we're going to give away some prizes. And so I'm really excited for the show tonight. I think we're going to have tons of fun. So welcome. Feel free to join in, and we're going to get our panelists all here shortly. We are sharing this in YouTube live stream today, and also links in Facebook, so you can watch it there later as well. If you are watching later, I would love for you to use the hashtag replay, and let us know that you are here in the chats. And so happy that you found us and watching our game night show. I am Jean Berry. I am a creative explorer and your game night show host. Coaches and consultants hire me to make branded games for their transformational work, and then we play with them on this show. So let me introduce you to our game maker team who is here so far. Astrid Mueller. Let me put you on the screen. Hang on. Wave again. Hang on. There you are. There's Astrid. And Astrid is our brand magic maker and official sparkle girl. So glad you're here tonight. Yeah. And we have, there we go. Kavita will be joining us shortly when she gets her tech issues resolved, which is cool. And if I can get this to go. No, I can't. Yes. Okay, we will add Lorree on the screen. There you are, Lorree. I would love to introduce you to our guest feature tonight, Lorree Appleby, and she will be playing her game Soul Adventure with us, and we'll be talking with her a little bit more tonight as we talk about her game and all the very, very cool things that she does on the planet. So let's go ahead and...
Nice. Oh, we just had somebody join us live. Roseanne Jansen is watching live. We're so excited to have you, Roseanne. Yay!
Beautiful. Roseanne.
Another change maker game author was live with us before. That's so awesome.
Cool. All right, thank you so much. And I'm just going to hit that. There we go. Now we're all on the screen. Takes me a minute to get those all rolling. Cool. All right, so our first game of the night. We have a first game that we're going to play here. And I like to call this one Color the Show. And we like to have a little magic in every show and the potential to kind of totally look like fools. And so how this works is our featured guest, we're going to call on you, Lorree, you're going to shout out a color. And if you're joining us live or if you're in the chat, I would love for you to share a color that you're thinking of right now and see if we can influence Lorree's color. But... And when she chooses that color, I have a little color chart here, and we're going to, it's going to inform what game we're going to play. And so that makes it exciting because we never know the game that's going to show up. So if you're in the chat, go ahead and add your colors. And before we do that, though, okay, Lorree, I'm going to let you choose a color. Just shout out a color.
Gold.
Gold. Ooh. We love the color gold.
And Roseanne is commenting things. She's saying, very cool to see all of you on the screen at once. And she said olive. So you have two colors now.
Olive.
That's a cool
beautiful.
Combo.
Okay, cool. So Before we dive into the game on gold, though, Lorree, I need to know, does that color have any significance for you?
It's shiny and it just makes me feel magical.
Oh, cool.
That's the best way to describe it, yeah.
Oh, so Astrid, it sparkles, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then before we even go into the game, Lorree, I need to know, what color is your business?
My business is purple and blue. And yeah.
Cool. And are those actually also your branded colors, or are those just the colors that come through? Okay.
Yeah, they are. And also they're always, even before the game, they've always been colors I've been drawn to.
Cool. I'm so glad you chose gold today. Okay, so here's the game. The game is Angel Questions. And so I actually have, and if Kavita was here, we would tap her on that for sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because her business is Earth Angel Wishes.
Exactly. So what I'd like you to do is to think of a question. If you're watching us, go ahead and add any question that's burning in your business right now, like anything that's going on. And we're going to draw an angel card. All right, Lorree, you have a question?
Yes.
Okay. What do you got?
How can I have fun tomorrow?
Ooh.
And the rest of the week, actually.
In your business?
Make it all week. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these up. Let's see if we can't make this go. All right, you tell me when we're at your card.
Yeah.
That's it? Okay. I so love this. Okay, so here it says, reward yourself. It says, you've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level.
Sounds great.
Excellent. Reward yourself. Okay, and for everyone watching in the chat, so Roseanne's here live in our chat. I'm going to pull a card for you too, Roseanne. Okay, so this one's for Roseanne. Actually, the card we drew is really great.
Also. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. Family. This is what I drew for anyone. So for Roseanne and for anyone in the live chat, this is the family card. And it says, this situation is rooted in an emotional experience with a family member, which we can help you understand and heal. In your mind and heart, surround this person, yourself, and the experience with calming blue light and many angels. Be open to the gifts within the situation and allow yourself to feel peace.
Wow.
What a lovely place to be.
So I mentioned the question that Roseanne posted?
Yes.
So now we get the question after we have the answer. I love that. So she said, what does my source of success launch want to be successful?
Ooh, interesting.
That is interesting.
Cool. And anything else you want to add, Astrid?
No.
Okay, cool. Just no. We're good. Cool. Well, I love that game, and I love that we never know what game we're going to play. So that is totally fun. All right, so that was our color game. So last week on the show, we talked about the parts of games and how the components of games actually make games engaging and make a game work, make a game a game. And so one of the important parts we talked about, especially for the kind of games that we create, is transformation. So if you are watching this on chat or even later in YouTube or on Facebook, I would like to know, what kind of transformation do you create with your clients in your business now? Like, what do you do to create transformation?
Ooh. So those are two questions, right? So you said, like, what transformation do you create and what do you do to create transformation? So you'd like to hear both? Or?
I guess it was two questions. I didn't intend to say two questions, but here we are.
That's so awesome.
So Laura, you want to answer that one too?
Opportunity. That's really cool. Yeah, go ahead.
So
Sorry,
Laura, it's okay. What kind of transformation do you create?
I would say shining your light, like people uncovering who they really are deep inside so that they can do what they love, be what they love, and share that with others.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is really nice. And that is one of the exciting things that I find about games. And of course, that is why you created this game, right?
Yeah.
And your soul adventure game. So I would love for you to meet Lorree Appleby. And I met Lorree a year and a half ago at a conference, and we were playing games. And she basically said, you know what? This is what I want in my business. I want my business to both be fun and to cause transformation. And, you know, Lorree's business is, she's a radical forgiveness coach, as well as does all kinds of fabulous other coaching to support people and their families be their best and highest self in the world. And it can be kind of a heavy topic, right? And so when we started to talk about, well, what does a game look like in that? It was really exciting to produce a game that does what this game does. And I am just so excited about it. I love this game, just to the moon and back, right? It's an amazing game. And so, Lorree, I first would love for you to elaborate on anything else you want to say about you and your background, a little bit of what you brought you here. And then we're going to dive into actually playing your game. But I would love to hear more from you and what you do on the planet.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So since I went on my spiritual journey and I learned about my soul adventure, it answered so many questions for me. And I was able to do that healing work that I needed to do to start to uncover my amazingness, my brilliance, you know, what lit me up, made me happy, figure out what did I want and how did I want to share it with others. Hey!
There's Kavita!
Welcome!
Hey.
Hey.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess I was having a little dose of Mercury retrograde.
Me too.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Glad you're here, Kavita, and we'll catch you up with the angel questions, which was our prompt for today. So
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So back to what I was saying. So when I started on my healing journey and I did a lot of forgiveness work and a lot of discovery and started to tap into my gifts and believe in myself and change those stories that I was telling myself into positive, empowering ones, you know, and leaving that heaviness behind, it did get heavy with working with me and my clients, but I knew that when I looked at it from curiosity, from being open, just putting questions out to the universe, to being open to what showed up and not having expectations or judgments. And that took practice to get to that. And I still continually work on that. That's when things started flowing. That's when magic started happening, and it got fun. So that's what I really love to do, is the journey that I've been on and I'm still going on, is to support people in that. So helping people to connect with who they really are and have that loving, beautiful relationship with their self. And the game really does help them to do that and to create positive, affirming truth messages and taking inspired action, you know, and then starting to see what their patterns and themes are, and then, you know, supporting themselves and however that unfolds. So there's so many directions it can go in. It can be as light or as deep as the person wants. It's really a customized, open journey, an adventure. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is so awesome. And I actually set up my camera today to be able to put it directly onto your game and to show people exactly what your game looks like.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to show this first. And there we go. It's switching over. There we go. So this is Lorree's game, the Soul Adventure game. So Lorree, I know you can't see this on your screen right now.
That's okay.
And but what I'm showing is the front box cover of your game. And it looks so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and open up the box. Whoo, beautiful. Oh, and I have the brochure upside down. So there's a little booklet inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are 3 decks of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Ventured cards, the chakra cards, and the compass cards. And then there's this cool little journal card. Okay, so I've shown everyone these nice little parts, and I would love now, Lorree, for you to take people through it, and I'm going to send it back here, the screen to you.
Absolutely.
And you can show. There we are. Back to Lorree. Now you're on the screen.
Okay, I can't see that, but I will believe you. Okay, so this game, it truly was divinely inspired. You know, me being led to Jean to asking the universe, how could I change? How could I create fun and set myself apart and do something different? And like I said, create transformation. And this game was really a big part of my journey, but then also what I saw my clients going through. So we always, before I start playing this game, I always like to set an intention, get grounded and centered in my body. So that's what I think we should do first, is just take a couple nice deep breaths. And then we'll set this intention that we are playing the Soul Adventure game today, and we're open to receiving the message, the clarity, the guidance for the highest good for all. And then I love to smile.
Okay, well, cool. I love that. And Lorree, can I ask then, do you want to play this with a specific person then, or do you want to play it with, how would you like to play?
We could just play it that everyone's playing and they get their own interpretation, because I can pull one set of cards and we can all play ourselves.
Okay, beautiful.
And one of us can share their answers to first time saving, if that makes sense. So beautiful. The audience, everyone here, does that sound good?
Yep. All right, awesome. So take it away.
Awesome. Okay, so we have 3 decks of cards. So I'm going to start shuffling that first deck of cards, and that's the Compass Being cards. So these are all different states of being. So I'm going to shuffle the cards. So who I would like, Jean, why don't you tell me when to stop, and I will pull the card from the top when you say so.
Okay.
Okay, so we got the acceptance card. So if everyone playing have a piece of paper and a pen, what you're going to be doing is you would normally be filling it out on this journal pad, but we're going to just do it on a piece of paper. So if you can just write, I am acceptance. So there's an affirmation at the bottom of this card, and I will read it to you. So just listen when I read it and just feel what it feels like to be acceptance. So it says, I see the situation as it is in this moment without judgment. I am acceptance. I like take a nice breath, just really embody how that feels to be acceptance. So now you have I am acceptance written down on your piece of paper, and then we are going to go on to the second deck of cards, and these are the chakra locator cards, and these are all the different parts of us. So it's called Soul Adventure Journey to the Real Me. So all of these cards are different me cards, and they're based on the 7 main chakras. Okay? So Astrid, how about this time I'll get you to tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay. And I'm going to pull from the bottom this time.
Okay.
We got abundant me.
Ooh, love
so abundant me is our 6th chakra, our 3rd eye. So you can write down, after you wrote I am acceptance, you're going to write with my abundant me.
Nice.
And you will notice that this is not making grammatical sense, and that's on purpose, because this is not a message that our logical mind can solve, can answer. This is an intuitive message, so it doesn't, grammar doesn't matter. All right, so the last deck of cards now is the adventure energy cards. So Kavita, I will ask you to tell me when to stop shuffling, and I will pull from the middle this time.
Stop.
Okay. All right, so we got the learning card. So you're going to write, after you wrote with my abundant me, you're going to write, therefore, I am learning. So I'll just make one more mention about the adventure energy cards. They are broken up into 3 different energy areas. There's mindfulness, which the learning card is. That's in the mindfulness energy, but there's also healing energy. Some of the cards are under that one, and then some of them are in the creating energy. And I'll tell you why after.
So I have the cards on the screen now that you drew, Lorree, so people can see them.
Great. Thank you so much. So now we have this incomplete sentence. Like I said, our logical mind can't finish. This is where our intuition, our soul's wisdom, that I like to call it, is going to give us the end of our sentence, the answer, the guidance for us. So I am acceptance with my abundant me, therefore I'm learning. And then whatever comes after that is your intuition is going to give you something. So just take another breath or two and say that to yourself and listen for your answer for the end. Okay. So you can just write down what you heard or saw or felt, whatever showed up for you, and write that down to end your sentence. If you didn't hear anything, I always say just, that's totally okay. Sometimes it doesn't come. Sometimes it comes right away. And sometimes you just got to try it again and just take another couple deep breaths. Say that incomplete sentence, I am acceptance with my abundant me. Therefore, I am learning. And to help you, yeah.
I would love for anyone who is on the chat or watching this later, if they would share what they got in the chat.
Yeah. And one more little thing I'm going to add to that, just to help in case someone's not hearing anything. I always like to refer to the booklet that comes with the game, and there's definitions in there. So and this is all around the chakra locator. So the abundant me card, the definition for that is you have more than enough of everything you want and need. So you could jot that down as well. And if I don't hear my intuition right away, I'll always go back to my cards and just focus in on and just breathe and feel what those particular cards mean to me. So how does it feel to be acceptance? How does it feel, the abundant me, how does it feel to be that part of me? And then the learning, and the mindfulness. And I'll just tune into that for a few moments, and then I'll take another few breaths and I'll ask again. And then usually something comes. So hopefully you all got something from that, and I think we were going to get one of you to share, but we can all share if we have time. It's totally up to you, Jean. But if someone wants to share what they got, or if anyone in the chat wants to share what they got, that would be great.
Astrid, do you want to share something?
Sure. Yes. I got to be. To be queen exudance, and that doesn't even make sense. But it's like to basically exude the energy of queen from my heart is what I got. So I'm acceptance with my abundant me. Therefore, I'm learning to be queen exudance. Yeah, that feels really powerful.
Yeah.
And Roseanne is just mentioning in a chat. She got. Therefore, I am learning to accept, i.e., collect the data from the situation. And she says, perfect. It goes with the very first angel card on family and with her business question above. Wow.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. That's great. Anyone else want to share, or I can keep going?
Well, I got. Let me just. I got. I'm looking back at my cards because they're behind me.
Yeah.
I'm acceptance with my abundant me. Therefore, I am learning. Learning to be that, to stay in my abundant place. Like that's what really showed up is being that more powerfully, like staying in that regularly and often.
It's funny you say that because I got a very similar, like, meaning this exact same thing. It's exactly what I got too. So it's like we're all kind of like, I don't know what you got, Kavita, but so far it's like we're all receiving this acceptance. I am owning this, and we're learning how to own this and be this all the time, more and more often. I love it.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely again the same theme of what I already am, but just being more of that. And so the word that I got for me is truth, because it's always about getting to the heart of the matter, the truth. And so again, learning to be more of that. And it's funny because this week I started with describing the definition of what it means for me to speak the subtle truth, and that's a term that I heard and came up with this in this new week, where sometimes we think that something is obvious and it, like everybody understands, but yet we don't say it out in our own words to ensure that we're on the same page,
Right.
And so it might be the finer lines in an agreement, in a commitment, in anything, And so we get to really share that. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Love that subtle truths. There's many out there. Okay, so now we all receive these beautiful messages, and this is your message, your personal mantra that you can take and journal on that. You can meditate on it. You can reflect on it throughout your day. I very often will take my journal card, partway through my day if, something threw me off or has kind of got me a bit scattered, and I'll read my message again. And it really helps me brings me back to center, and it reminds me of who I'm being today and how do I want to feel. So I invite everyone to do that with your message if you want to. So the next piece of the game is looking for our inspired action. So we want to ask our intuition, our soul's wisdom, what action can we take towards this message? What could we do that would feel like amazing and light? So you can, it might come to you right away, or you can take a breath and ask, what action can I take towards this? I can see you got an answer, Kavita. You went, okay.
Yes.
So
Sure.
if anyone wants to share what they got, or if anyone is on the chat.
Yeah. So I got to celebrate my queen.
Celebrate. Yay. Reward yourself.
Yes.
For me, it's showing up.
Yeah, showing up. Yeah,
yes.
Awesome. And Jean, what did you get?
I got something that I always get funny things. I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. So I got, and actually I got this last week, so I shouldn't be that surprised. I got sit on the floor. And when I was asking Kavita about that, I'm like, so I got this sit on the floor thing. And she actually had this. Actually, Kavita, why don't you tell them what you got?
Okay, yes. For me, I was telling Jean, the visual I got when she said that was, like that Zen master. You can sit on the floor, you can be in that energy, really embody it. And then, of course, you can delegate from that space. You can ask for whatever it is that you want, and it shows up for you. It's really beautiful. And so to sit on the floor is really powerful in her energy, in her energy field.
That's awesome. And when you said that, I thought I could see you sitting on the floor, still grounded, just commanding, just being in your presence. That's what I felt too. So
that feels so empowering. Yay.
Yeah. And just being in that space. Love it.
We got
Awesome.
one more comment also.
Sure.
Roseanne is playing with us live. That's so cool, Roseanne. Thanks for being with us.
Yes.
And she got to do my success template around the family event. So she got a very clear intuition for inspired action. That's awesome.
Love it. Love it. Okay. So, yeah, so that's how you play the daily play. You can play this once a day, twice a day. You can, some people that I know, they will play it and then they'll stay with that message until they've really integrated it. That was what someone I know that's a little bit more that really intuitive yogi meditate teacher. She likes to sit with it for a few days. So really, it's whatever feels good for you. I personally like to play it every day and see what shows up. So when we play it every day, what we also do is we tally our cards. So in the booklet, there's a tally sheet, and you tick off which cards you pulled. And the reason why we do that is so that we can start to see what our themes are. So the theme of pulling, a lot of cards in one of the chakra areas, or maybe in one of the adventure card areas, or maybe even the being card, it's going to send us even deeper messages around guidance towards, next steps and what we truly need. Our soul is calling us and inviting us to do and to be and to focus on. And for me, this was really important. For one, when I went on this, started on this journey, there was so much to learn and so many things, and I knew there was lots of things that could help me, but what one do I do first? Where do I focus? That's what was always like stressing me out about it. So when I play the game, it's very light and I don't have to make a decision. It makes the decision for me, and I always feel really solid and good. And it's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Like, yeah, I can be that, or that's, I can't believe I just got that card. You'll get a lot of confirmation and validation, and then you also get nudged to do things that maybe you're not. Maybe it's something you might be resisting at that time of your life, or you're going through some particular thing. It could be time you need to speak your truth or set some boundaries. There's so many different things, but the game's really great guidance to supporting us as we are just living our daily life. And it's very gradual, but the transformation is pretty amazing, because when you start to decode the themes, because after you play for 44 days, you start to, that's when we decode our themes. And when we decode our themes, we tally up what we got, very much like Jean's game, the Angels, Peacocks, Butterflies game. And we start to see, I pulled the most in the heart chakra area, or I pulled the most in the creating, and maybe the compass card that you pulled the most. Like for myself, the last one I did, the compass card was willingness. So, I know okay, focusing on being willingness every day, so you can go deeper. And then I take people through the decoding of their themes, where we go and we ask our intuition, our soul's wisdom, some deeper questions around our purpose, around the actions we can take. And then I have an ebook that we can reference, and then we can go deeper with the chakra areas and the energy. So it really empowers us to know what we need, help us to really get out of our head and moving into our heart, knowing what we need, and then providing ourselves with that self-care and that self-love in small little pieces, but very over time. You are really sending a very strong message to yourself, because you're creating these positive messages every day. You're taking these inspired actions if they feel good to do so. We don't have to do them. It's the seed's been planted, but if we feel good and the opportunity comes up, we take that action. So it's very empowering and a gradual but permanent shift and transforming into getting closer and closer to being who we truly are, without any filters, without any limits, and feeling amazing every day.
That is so awesome, Lorree. And I want to ask you a couple more questions about that. Before I do that, I know that you talked about a whole bunch of things, but I want to give people kind of a visual of what that looks like. So I want to show what it looks like on the tally sheet, like what you're actually doing. So let me shift the screen to that. Here we go. All right, so this is what the tally book looks like. So those are the compass cards and the adventure cards. And then here's where you tally the chakra cards. Aren't the pages beautiful? I mean, I love this booklet. It's so colorful and beautiful. And then here's the themes and decoding page. And so it asks those deeper questions, and it has a really nice place to journal all that, which is really very cool. And then also in here, she has this lovely FAQ section, but then also this soul evidence tracker where and this is what I want to ask you about, Lorree. Like what happens when people play the game? Like what kind of things do start to happen over time?
Yeah, so like I said, you'll get confirmation. So whatever something's going on, and this happens to me all the time, something's going on, or I've been working on something, or whatever's happening in my life, the cards will reflect that. So they'll give me confirmation that I'm on the right track, that my intuition was telling me is, yes, do this, go for it. Because sometimes oftentimes getting out of our comfort zone is exactly what we need to do in order to grow to that next level, but we're just not sure. So the confirmation from the cards, it's encouraging and empowering us to take those steps that are going to be for our highest good. And what I also love about it is that if I'm having a struggle with something and I have a question, I can ask, and then what I find is when I'm really focusing on the cards, I'll start manifesting. Things will start showing up, and synchronicities will come to me, will show up just very kind of just out of the blue. So meaningful coincidences, synchronicities, something will shift. And it's just in playing the game and asking questions and being open to what's showing up to me as I continue my day or maybe the next day. So I love this whole evidence tracker because I can't tell you how many times that something, intuition, as you all know, sometimes it can be very subtle. But when you keep note of all the different magical, cool, exciting things that have happened, that have shown up, you start to see a trend and you're like, wow, I really am, I really am in the flow. Things are happening easier. Things are coming to me without me having to try. It's much more of just being and flowing and just following that intuition. So I love recording it because it really gives my logical mind some proof that my intuition is on point, and it is always got my best interest at heart.
Beautiful.
So that answered it.
Yeah. So if you are watching this, then I would love to know if there is something that you get stuck on, like are the decisions that you try to make or things that you're doing in your world, like what are those things that show up that we could draw a card for you for, or that we can get some clarity for you on? Like, what are the things? Is there something that you're stuck on? Like, I would love to know that. Astrid or Kavita, do you have anything that you want to add about this, or questions you have?
Kavita, you want to go first? You were also making a sign. I can go. Okay. I was just curious if there's anything around the money game, money expansion, because I know I'm still curious on that theme, and I trust it's happening, and I see it's happening. However, I'm still curious if there is something, and I know that's a question that pertains to so many people. Yeah, always.
And so are you asking if this showed up for you like a theme? Like, and of course you did draw the abundance card today.
I know, right?
Like you're the one who drew that. Like what would you, like Lorree, what would you see if that came up as a theme like over time and you had drawn the abundance card like 8 times in 44 days? What kind of conclusions might someone draw for drawing that?
I would say, because I have drawn it quite often, for me, it's to remind myself to think of and notice and pay attention to all the things in my life that are abundant. It may not necessarily be money, but there's so many other things in our world that we might take for granted because it's always there. And to focus on those things and to really, I like to also step into the gratitude for all the abundant things in my life, because that really keeps me in that higher vibration and not in like slipping into the lack if there's, money. So having faith that it's all unfolding. I just can't see the bigger picture because, we're human and we only get so much of a view, which is pretty limited. So that's what I would say if I kept seeing the abundant card over and over, to just keep staying in abundance, keep reminding myself how abundant I am in so many other ways. And how can I create more abundance too, in my life. Yeah.
Kavita, I love how positive your game is. Kavita, if you drew that card, Kavita, what would you, what kind of conclusions might you draw if you drew that card?
So for me, it would feel like, first of all, looking at the areas where I don't feel abundant in, and how can I, in that moment, shift the energy that there is something that I can be grateful for. Because as soon as I get into the energy of gratitude, I can easily shift from that into abundance, right? And then recognizing, so for instance, let's make this practical. If it is that I have a corporate job and I don't like getting up on Monday mornings to go to work, right? And it feels really heavy. So I'm feeling restricted in that area, and all the energy that comes from that. And I can shift into looking at that and how can I feel gratitude? Well, there was a time when I did want a job and I was really grateful for that job to show up, right? That job showed up as a blessing for me. And then I can get into the energy of like how amazing that was and how aligned it was at that time, and then feel gratitude in that space, and then receive the abundance of what that job is providing for me in this moment, even though it might not be my full dream job kind of thing. It is a step toward having the dream job, and if I can appreciate what I have, then certainly I can bring more of that abundance to me.
Awesome.
Powerful.
That is powerful.
So I have to share, because the cards answered your question. And can I explain how that happened? So what I've discovered about a month ago is there's a second message when you play the game. So what we do is after I pull my regular cards, I take my decks and I flip them over. So the bottom of the deck to see what card is underneath. Right? To get what I'm saying? So I pull my card, but then I take the whole deck and flip it over and I look at the bottom card of each deck. So what we got, because I flipped it over while you guys were talking, was we got, I am creativity with my profitable me, therefore I'm releasing.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that amazing? So the card answered your question or gave you something else you can focus on. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is insanely awesome. Can you show those again in the center of your screen? That's so cool.
I am creativity. So I have free-flowing ideas in new and inspired ways. I am creativity. Profitable me, that's our sacral chakra. And the definition on that one is, you attract profits with ease and grace. And then releasing, that's a healing card, and you know what that is. Releasing, letting go, surrendering, not surrendering, but yeah. So the cards answer.
Dang.
Cool, eh? So everyone can work with that additional message. And I always find that we call it the flip side. That's what we've coined it as, the flip side. It seems to play on the first message, and it's like an additional supportive message. It's kind of cool, anyhow. So that's
amazing.
The little like bonus play, we'll say.
I love that. Like, I love that so much. It's really,
oh my God.
It's so fabulous. That is just such a fun way to play this game. Like, there's always new ways that show up, right? Okay, so I would love to play another game with you, Lorree.
Sure.
And I usually roll the dice, but today I made a spinner.
Yay!
And so I know, just to shake it up a little bit. And so I'm going to spin the dial, and I have this list of questions. So I'm going to ask you a question based upon what we end up on the spinner. Okay, so let's see if I can get this to show on the screen. There we go, spinner. Number 9. And question number 9 is... oh, you're going to like this. Hang on, let me put you on the screen. Just because it's so silly. All right, here we go. The question number 9 is square, circle, or triangle?
Circle.
Heart, angel, or tree?
Heart.
What color is your business? I already asked you this.
Purple.
Purple,
we'll say
okay.
Purple to give it one color, yeah.
So the reason I ask these kind of questions, of course, and you know this, Lorree, as do Astrid and Kavita, is that we create things out of our imagery, like the random things. We take those random things and we make them into a real thing. Mm-hmm. And I love how those things come to they just flow out of your mouth. Like right now, you don't think I'm weird anymore to ask.
No.
But I also love behind you. You have this paper on the wall that has all these hearts and the number 9. And so I know that symbology is can be really important. Do you want to tell us about that?
Well, that was my intuitive drawing of the soul's journey, the soul adventure. So in the middle with the circle, there's a star, and that's me or you or whoever is representing. And then it starts with that box at the bottom of the 9. So we're in the box, and when we start, right, and then we slowly start to come out of our box, because we're conformed, as we all, have experienced, and we start to come out of our box into who we truly are, and we're shining. And then the plants on the right side represent growth. On the left side, it's our that's actually our soul family, I think it was. I did this drawing about several months ago. I'm trying to remember. It's our soul family, and we're just... No, sorry, that's releasing on the other bottom side. That's releasing. So we're releasing big things, and it's transmuting. That's what that is. The 3 circles on this side. And then up on the top corner with all the hearts, that's just what we're putting out to the world, love and shining our light. And on the other side is our soul family, the 8, all the 8s that are on the left side. They're like clustered in a purple. So those are just all of our soul family. So because our connection with others, because that's a big part of our soul adventure is our connection with other souls here, and obviously, in the divine ethers as well. So that's what that whole intuitive drawing was. My crayons of the soul adventure, the soul's journey.
I love that.
Yeah, I just had to remember that one first. Yeah, I got
it. We are going to wrap up here in just a couple of minutes, but I do have one other thing. We like to give away a prize to one of our viewers, and so I'd like you to play another game with me, Lorree, to give away a prize. And since we have only one viewer live today, so Roseanne, you are playing for Roseanne today, which is pretty cool. So this is a prize for Roseanne. And so I made a little dream catcher. And so I'd like you to pick a number, 1 to 4, Lorree.
4.
Pick a color.
Orange.
So cute.
Pick another color.
Green.
Green. And you drew a prize. Ooh, Roseanne, I'm going to send you something real in the mail. It's going to be a fabulous prize. It's going to be a surprise in the mail. I know, it just delights me so much. So thank you for letting Roseanne win a fabulous prize today.
Congrats.
If you're watching on later and you're viewing this later, please put your comments below. We will actually do another drawing out of our comments next week on the show. And so if you go ahead and comment anything on here, either on the Facebook stream or on the YouTube stream, then you will go into a drawing for another prize in our show next week. So everyone put your comments in there, answer questions, play the game, let us know what answers you got to your abundance cards today, since we all seem to be in that mode. That is beautiful. I am so happy that you are here. Anything that you would like to add, Astrid and Kavita, before I share some links?
Well, I would love for everybody to bookmark their calendar, because we have this show going every week at the same time, always on Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern Time on this YouTube channel.
Yay!
And I'd love to remind everyone that when you're playing these games, the whole idea is to be light and playful with it, and not to take yourself so seriously. And especially with these card games, like, it's not the answer that I want. And you go playing over and over again. Really trust the first answer that comes, because there's a lot of magic that lies within that. Yes.
Beautiful. So thank you for that. So if you want to know more about Lorree and Lorree's game, you can find her game at souladventuregame.com. And that will take you right there. You can learn more about it. You can learn how to play with Lorree and find all of her links there. If you would like to play with Astrid, Kavita, and I in our playground, we have a playground called the Zap Adventure Club. And if you want to play with us more, please join us in our Facebook group at the Zap Adventure Club. We will put the links below. And if you are curious about having your own game, I would love to have a conversation with you and talk games, and let's play. So come play with me. I will put the link to my calendar in there as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the Game Night Show. We love to help change makers change the world and change their game. Thanks. Have a great week.
And everybody wins.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Woohoo! All right.